This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shashina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the Ministry of Social Services and Community Development hosting a town meeting on Monday evening at the 8 Mile Rock High School Gymnasium to reintroduce the RISE program. Kimberly Mullings was there.
Helping you do.
The Minister of Social Services and Community Development, the Honorable Melanie Griffin, was on hand to reintroduce a conditional cash transfer program as the ministry aims to reduce poverty in the Bahamas by the name of RISE. The acronym stands for Renewing, Inspiring, Sustaining, and Empowering the Community.
The main objectives of RISE are to promote human capital development and alleviate poverty, with the focus being on changing behaviors to improve educational achievement and a healthier lifestyle among poor households.
In 2012, the Bahamian government entered into an agreement with the Inter-American Development Bank for the implementation of a social safety net reform in the Bahamas. Minister Griffin is pleased that the program has now taken off throughout the nation.
This reform, which includes strengthening the institutional capacity of the Department of Social Services, the installation of a state-of-the-art management information system to ensure the smooth processing of requests from registration to payment, improved targeting through a proxy means test.
With over 800 of social services clients being residents of 8 Mile Rock and another 130 residents of Freeport, the Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Dr. Michael Darville, commended the Social Services Minister and her team for bringing social services to the 21st century.
Over the past decades, we have seen an increase in persons seeking social services, particularly the food assistance program here on the island of Grand Bahama. For this reason, the Honorable Minister and her able team are working diligently to bring the food assistance program into the 21st century, where technology is the order of the day.
Minister Darville also mentioned that the Ministry of Social Services and Community Development is headed in the right direction and encouraged those using the services to embrace the change.
This department is working diligently throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas to make sure that you have access to the services and assistance that you truly deserve without losing your dignity.
Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
In other news, the tourism sector on Grand Bahama gaining some strength as two entities are now joining in an official partnership to bring more tourists to the main shopping district. For one of these organizations, it is a major step in the right direction. Megan Shepard reports.
The Grand Bahama Taxi Union joining forces with the Port Lucaya Marketplace in an effort to bring more tourists from the cruise ships to the island. President David Jones says that this is a great step, bringing both entities together to bring more economic growth to the inland businesses.
The uniforms that you see is sponsored by the Port Lucaya Marketplace, and we're going to ask the drivers to follow us on this. We're trying to get all the drivers in the same particular type wear. The government has indicated that once we all could get together on one accord, we can then discontinue the neckties. But the idea behind this is to promote more jobs for taxi drivers.
Taxi drivers will now be promoted more throughout the world as a part of the Port Lucaya team.
The taxi unions will be in all the advertisement promoting taxis, and once persons see that it's a taxi that is safe to get in, it's a clean environment, we organize, we kind of putting our ducks in line, persons will then incline to want to take taxis.
Proprietor of the Port Lucaya Marketplace, Peter Hunt, posing with the taxi union team to celebrate the new partnership. He says he is pleased to support the union through this initiative, and Jones adding that this is one step closer to equality for the taxi drivers.
This still is a challenge for us for a distribution of jobs, but what it does, it puts the taxi driver now to the forefront because we're marketing ourselves a little bit more. So this is a very, very, very excellent good step.
All of the union members will be provided with uniforms, and the second phase will include branding of the vehicles. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, a local business establishment is expanding, and this means good news for Bahamians in search of work. Sabrina Brown explains.
H. Forbes Charter Services has made another significant investment in the Grand Bahama economy, all in an effort to help improve the tourism product. The leading tour company on the island recently introduced the newest addition to its fleet, a double-decker party bus, which seats up to 89 people.
My suppliers, they asked me to get double-deckers for Grand Bahama for the coming season, which is next year. And this is the first of 7 returning to the streets of Grand Bahama after 30 years. Grand Bahama is one of the flattest islands in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas chain. And double-decker will give you a clear view of what the city is all about.
Owner Hadley Forbes says this venture is in response to the many requests by visitors for more exciting tours on the island.
This is going to attract new businesses to the island. In fact, we just about booked out for next year. We just about booked out. We may have 8 days that we won't be totally booked out for the double-deckers.
Forbes says the company is currently having 6 additional double-decker party buses custom-made, and they are expected to arrive on the island in February, bringing the total investment to $1.4 million. He says the new tour buses will provide job opportunities for more Bahamians.
14 new people will be the operators of these 7 pieces of equipment. Each one of them will have 2 persons on it, the driver, the conductor, and the commentator.
The tour expert is excited about this new product, and he says the response has been overwhelming.
We get emails from all over the world every day since we get this, and everybody wants this. Everyone wants it. You can have this for a party, you can have this for a wedding, you can have this for just a night on the town.
Sabrina Brown, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Sabrina. Well, the Culinary Fusion was dubbed a huge success. Italia Hall fills us in. Chefs and mixologists on Grand Bahama came together on November 7th for the annual Culinary Fusion event. The Ministry of Tourism is a key sponsor for the event and hosts a competition each year for the participants. The director of the Ministry of Tourism, Betty Bethel, says it's not just sun, sand, and sea that brings guests to the island of Grand Bahama, but its variety of experiences guests have, and the culinary component is very important.
The Fusion event has allowed for our chefs and our various restaurants to take the culinary experience to a totally different level. And we were totally impressed and blown away.
Jillian Lightbon of Move Marketing thanked the Ministry of Tourism for partnering with them and says this year was a huge success.
To the vendors, for you all to be able to, promote your goods, your services, not just to the local market, but also internationally. And we are just elated to have each and every one of you on board.
This year's winners of the Culinary and Mixologist competition were Memories, Garden Delight, Slice of Life, and Agave.
The meeting of the minds really surprised us. So many more competitors, a lot more exposure for a lot of different restaurants.
It definitely gave the company a lot of exposure, not only to the locals, but to tourists as well.
What we did, we stayed true to Bahamian. We didn't deviate. We just stayed the local things we have, and we twisted.
I like the event, and like I told Sean, I think it's something great for the island of Grand Bahama, and myself that I try to see things like this to bring ideas to the restaurant. So
Culinary Fusion, when we hear that word, that makes us very, very hungry, because we have a lot of product on this island, a lot of indigenous products, what we can take to another level. All it calls for is a little creation.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News. Switching gears now, Grand Bahama Police needs your assistance in locating 3 male suspects wanted for stealing. The first suspect is 25-year-old Bernard Jerome Ferguson of number 200 Eleuthera Drive, Hawksville. He is described as standing at 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing 175 pounds with muscular build and medium brown complexion. The second suspect is 29-year-old Leroy Rashad McKenzie of number 44 Cove House, Bahama Reef Boulevard, Freeport. He is described as being 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing 173 pounds, average build with dark brown complexion. Now, the third suspect is 20-year-old Tyrone Anthony Dames of number 19 Point Lookout Drive. He is wanted for housebreaking and stealing. He stands at 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighs 160 pounds, thin build with medium brown complexion. Police say the suspects should be approached with caution. If you have any information concerning these wanted men, you're asked to contact the police at the Eastern Division at 373-1112 or 374-3713, Central Detective Unit at 350-3107 or 12, or call your nearest police station. Police are also wishing to remind the public that it is a criminal offense to harbor a wanted person. Persons providing a safe haven for criminals will be prosecuted. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight continues right after this.